Well, hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining us again. Tuning in. We are here with the CEO of Interfaith Community Services, Greg Angel. Thanks for being with us today, Greg.
Nate, thanks for having me, and thanks for everything that everyone is doing from CRB during this time.
For sure. And we're thankful for what you guys are doing, meeting needs. There's so much going on right now. And so we just wanted to catch up and hear kind of what you guys are dealing with. So first off, tell us a little bit about the population of people you are working with and how this COVID has really affected them.
So Interfaith Community Services brings together different faith communities, people of compassion, to help our neighbors, local neighbors in need. And in normal times, that's really low-income individuals who are out of work, afraid they might be losing their housing, or maybe they've already lost their housing. In these times, we're actually seeing a lot of people who have never come here for assistance before and are out of work for the first time in their lives. Don't even know how to go about applying for unemployment insurance. So we're doing a lot of work to help a much larger group of people who have a lot of financial needs during this time.
And what specific populations do you work with, like unsheltered folks? So name maybe a few of the populations you guys are working with.
Yeah, so we like to say we work with all of God's children. So we help families, adults, children, veterans, seniors, youth, you name it. One of the most needed services right now has been our simple food assistance, where families can walk up or drive up to our Escondido Center, which is where I am today, and they'll be greeted by somebody who walks out, meets them in the parking lot safely while they're in their car, and finds out what their situation is. And if they have a need for food assistance, we're able to provide that, deliver that food directly to them without them even having to get out of the vehicle.
Nice. And tell us a little bit how this pandemic has affected you organizationally, in the way you deliver or administer those services.
So basically every single service we provide has changed as a result of this pandemic. The process for somebody who needs assistance pre-COVID was that they would come here and they'd come inside our building and they'd meet with a volunteer or a professional social worker, and we'd have a conversation to find out, what the needs are, and then how do we get at the underlying cause of those needs. Our model is about helping people help themselves. So we provide a week's worth of groceries, but we want to help you so you don't have to come back next month in the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
We're now doing that socially distanced, with masks on, and largely outdoors in order to do that safe. And that's really just one example of more than 50 different programs and services that have changed, including a lot of our housing and shelter programs.
How are you guys still able to deliver services despite some of the current operational constraints that you guys are up against?
So we've seen more than 400% increase in the number of people coming here for help since COVID-19 started. And the only way we are able to meet those needs is by the support of CRB and a lot of other faith communities here in North County. The food that you all are providing, the sack lunches that we're now giving out in lieu of what used to be a large congregate meal every morning. Now people come and they get a sack lunch to go. And the church has provided, we estimate, more than 2,500 meat and cheese sandwiches and sack lunches. So you're feeding people who don't have a place to go for food. Those individuals in the morning can also come in and take a shower and get cleaned off. A small number can do laundry. So you're helping meet really critical hygiene needs for a lot of people who are homeless, who don't have housing. And then for those who are coming in their car, or they are still housed and they just have hit a rough patch because they've lost hours at work or they've been laid off, the groceries that you all are donating are helping to keep food on the tables for those families. And our volunteers and our staff are having conversations with those families out in our parking lot to find out what other needs are. And we're able to connect and provide assistance with rental assistance, helping people complete their taxes, helping people secure their IRS stimulus check if they're not set up to do so otherwise. And it's a longer list, but your support is allowing all of that to happen outside in the parking lot here at Interfaith Community Services.
Well, cool. Love that you guys are getting creative in the way that you're still, trying to meet needs and meet people right where they're at. So that's awesome. Tell us a little bit on how maybe as a church, are there ways we can continue to help? Is it just continue to do, donating food and sandwiches, or are there any other ways that we can support?
Yeah, personal hygiene items are a really important thing during this time, right? So we are always very low on hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes for all of our operations. So those are major donation needs for those who are able. And then personal hygiene items for individuals. And we can provide a list of all the highest need items. You all put together a ton of personal hygiene kits just recently. It makes such a big difference to be able to distribute those out. So those are important. And the continued support with food donations. One of my favorite volunteer groups. We have a lot of volunteer groups, but I love to barbecue at home. And so, the group from CRB that purchased the smoker barbecue and comes out every month and barbecues for our Haven House shelter residents, you all are amazing. And keeping up those good works makes a huge difference. And it lets people know, our residents know, that people care about them and they're there for them. And that really helps.
That's cool. That's great. Well, tell us, Greg, a little bit, why do you do what you do? Why do you get up every morning and walk into the facility there in Escondido and meet the needs of the people in your community? What motivates you to do that every day?
Well, I think I think if we're honest with ourselves, we know that it's only by the grace of God that we don't find ourselves in a situation where we need this type of assistance, or we've been in situations in the past where we've had that type of assistance. And I think the opportunity to help and make a difference during this time of crisis is really what we're all looking for. And so at Interfaith Community Services, there's a place for everybody. There's a place for somebody who wants to make a career out of this. We're hiring a lot of different positions right now because we're managing 135 hotel rooms throughout North County for people who are homeless and have disabling conditions. They should be sheltering in place. They don't have a home to shelter in. We're hiring staff to help support that program, just as one example. There are places for volunteers to come and work in person, to work behind the scenes, for volunteers to put together hygiene kits and do some of the stuff that the church has been very active in. There's a place for you at Interfaith Community Services. And there's also a place for you if you need help and you've been laid off and you're trying to figure out how to make ends meet. Our teams are experts on helping you get through that situation. So come on by. We'd love to talk to you and work with you. And I do it personally because it's one of the things that gives me the greatest joy in life is supporting amazing teams that are helping others and changing lives on a daily basis.
That's awesome. Very cool. So it sounds like, thanks for making that clear, that, you're meeting needs in the community. So if people find themselves in a difficult spot, they can go to Interfaith and get some support, at least counseling and coach through how to navigate those challenges. And then you also said on the volunteer side, can volunteers go to your website and find those different volunteer opportunities?
Yeah, check out interfaithservices.org. You can see the volunteer button on there. You can also just click on the COVID-19 link and see all the ways that the community is responding and the opportunities to get involved in support.
Very cool. Awesome. Anything else you wanted to add, Greg? Anything else you want to say?
Thank you. Thank you to the Church of Rancho Bernardo. You all have been wonderful supporters of Interfaith Community Services for a generation. There's a lot of hyperbole now. And I keep saying the hyperbole is true. It's truly an unprecedented time. Your help is needed now more than it has ever been needed. And you all are coming through in such amazing ways. You're feeding thousands of people. You're helping people stay housed, and you're going to help them recover, because recovery is going to happen. We're beginning to get more people back to work, and we'll keep people housed. We'll get people who are without housing into housing, and we'll only be able to do that thanks to your support. So thank you to everyone for all that you do and for who you are.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm here with the CEO of Interfaith Services in Escondido, Greg Angel. Thanks for joining us this morning, Greg.
Thanks, Nate. Interfaith Community Services is serving thousands of our neighbors in need during this COVID-19 crisis, helping with food, shelter, employment, and everything to keep people safe. We are only doing that thanks to the support of our faith communities like CRB leading the way. Super excited to be here with you today and to talk about the work we're doing together to help our local neighbors in need.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg.